Is this something that you spotted yourself or that sources told you?
No, this is something I saw with my very own eyes. To set the scene for you, it was Christmas morning, and I personally was running late because I typically arrive like a responsible person 3 hours before the game. And as I'm kind of hurrying in, I spot a PR staffer from the Steelers looking very frantic. And so then she's like frantic right there at the door, and all of a sudden here comes George Pickens. They whisk him in. He goes and walks right out onto the field. Now, players before the game, there's early warm-ups that take place like about beginning 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes before. Guys are out there like working with Russell Wilson, developing chemistry, getting warmed up. You know, if you have a hamstring injury like George Pickens had, properly warming up. And then you have to list the inactives, and you have to release those to the public 90 minutes before the game. And so he wasn't even there before. And so after this happened, I talked with players in the locker room and was trying to get a sense of, like, is this a big deal? What time are you supposed to be here? And the response that I got was most players kind of shrugged and were like, yeah, that's George. You know, that just happens. That's practice. That's all the time. That's just how it is. So, you know, I think it's, as I pointed out in the story, Joe, if you go back to when this whole first-round flame-out streak began with the Jaguars and that no-show performance, Le'Veon Bell was late to that. And the issue for the Steelers is when you have talented players who don't abide by the rules and who aren't professional in their approach, how do you expect them to show up for big games? So this was a regular season game against the Chiefs that did decide a lot. But even if you pay George Pickens a lot of money, even if you think you've gotten the best out of him and you think you've gotten his attention, what happens when you go into the AFC Championship game and he shows up late and he's disinterested? You know, and that's the problem with it.
Right.